Okay guys, here it is up close and personal. This is the Stealth41 optic from Dark Owl Archery. As stated in the name, this is a 41mm optic. It has 18 inches of fiber. It has 12 different pin options and 8 different pin positions. We're going to start out by discussing the custom laser engraving to this. Dark Owl Archery offers custom laser engraving for anybody's scope. Whether you do it before you buy the optic, or if you want to test out the optic and then send back into us and get it custom laser engraved. We also offer custom painting, that if you want this like black multicam, we can do that. If you want to do duck camo, we can definitely do that for you. We also offer custom laser engraving alongside of that painting, so you guys can do basically whatever you want with this optic. Just set it up for your personality and get it looking how you want to. So that's also backed by our lifetime warranty on this optic. So if you buy this optic and there's any manufacturing defect in it, we'll get you a new one, no questions asked. Okay, first of all, this is a two-piece system. You have your scope main housing, and then you have your scope back. We're going to start out by discussing the main housing here. It's held on by a 10/32 button head screw that attaches to most standard scope barrels. So this one's for a XL. It'll work for a spot hog, and if you have like a CBE, it should mount directly on there. Ultra view mount for the HHA. So those are different options that you guys have for when it comes to sights for this scope housing or the scope. Coming to the front here, we have our bubble level, and this bubble level is detachable, and you can put it on the top or bottom. This also makes it ambidextrous, so if you want to put it on, the bottom in your left-handed shooter, you can take this off, simply put it down below, and you're set. We're also threaded on the front here for sunshades. We will have that option later on down the road. Coming to the scope back here, as you can see, we have all these holes all the way around, and that's for your different pin positions. So essentially, you have 2 screw holes, one on top, one on bottom, and that's what holds in the scope back. You can clock this in 8 different positions. If you want it, straight vertical, a 45, a 90, a -45, and then a 180, you can do that. This is especially great for target archers. If you want to test out different pin points of where you think that it may help you with your eyes. Certain people, certain pin positions work better for their eyes. So we figured we'd give you that option with this sight or the scope. We have 18 inches of fiber that wraps around this. It comes through the channel here, underneath this rheostat, and then it wraps all the way around. This fiber, we decided to go with a US manufactured fiber. It is extremely bright, and we added an extra 6 inches compared to the standard that most scope manufacturers use. We did that for those low light scenarios, especially if you're hunting and you don't want to be reaching down for that light when there's a deer coming into the stand or whatnot. We decided that it's pretty important to have that nice bright fiber for those low light scenarios like that. But that being said, we do have a nice big sunshade up on top that if it is bright out, you can put that over top and it'll cut a lot of that light. Coming to the scope back here, the back side, there is a groove here and then a larger groove for an O-ring. So that's so you can put your lens in. You can pop that lens right in there, put the O-ring in, and you're all set to go. If you want to take that out, all you got to do is take a small Allen, push it through this little hole here, and it'll take that O-ring out. It's also got an extra little hole here. If you have a drilled lens, you can do that and run that through there. It is textured on the inside of the scope to stop some of that light glare, and then we are also threaded on the back here for sunshades that we'll have in the future. Alright, so now we're going to discuss this triple pin. So there is 12 different versions of the pins on the website. You have 6.01 pins and then 6.019 pins. And essentially you'll have 2 single pins and then 10 different triple pins. So you have different triple pins for your bow speeds. And it's really set up more so on your sight tape, and we'll go over that here in a little bit. It's a pretty simple process of how to set that up, but we just want to walk through it with you guys so you know that you're selecting the correct pin. So basically this is set up that you can sight in your 20 and then your 30 and 40 is basically going to be right on. We decided to go this route because we feel that there's too many scope manufacturers that just have a set distance, and it's basically you get what you get. No matter if you're both shooting 310 feet per second or shooting 270 feet per second. So we want to change that to make this an easier setup for people, that if you're in that tree stand or you're out elk hunting, you know exactly that you're set up for 20, 30, 40. And there's no guessing of my second pin's at this or my third pin's at this. So you know exactly what it's at. So now we're going to go discuss the different pins and how to set that up. Hey guys, as discussed, we're going to go over which pin that you're going to choose for your sight tape. As stated before, this is a pretty simple process, but I'm just going to walk you guys through how to do it. That way, it probably will alleviate a lot of questions for me in the future. So the first thing you want to do is, no matter which sight bar you have, either it be, Excel, HHA, Spot Hog, I'll have it set up on the website that you can simply choose that, hey, I'm using this sight tape and it's going to correlate to this pin the best. That being said, I will show you guys how to do this if you want to do it for yourself, or let's say if you're using Archer's Advantage, which is an awesome tool and I highly suggest using that if you can. But I'll show you how to set that up that you can pick out which pin if the sight that I have on the website does not match what you're using. So the first thing you want to do is figure out which sight tape you're using. Right now I'm using number 18 from Excel. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a measurement with the calipers. If you are an archer or a hunter or just gun shooter and you don't have a set of calipers, you definitely should get a pair. This is a cheap set that I got off of Amazon. I have very expensive ones that I don't want to bring out to the range here, but this is essentially just an easy way of showing you guys how to do this. I'm going to take a measurement between my 20 and my 40 yard marks. Get that close, and it looks like for me between my 20 and 40 it's 0.276, so like 0.275 really. It's a thousandth, pretty close. So from there I'm going to go on the website and I'll have the list. I have the list of the pin gaps in there of which pin you need to choose. Now this only works like that for flat sight tapes. If you're using a HHA or a Spot Hog with a Archer's Advantage sight tape, there is a little bit more math involved in that, and essentially that's because you're going from a linear movement to an angular movement. So you'll find out that the correlation between the two isn't 1-to-1. It's actually quite a bit usually more movement on the wheel to the movement of the pins themselves, which is no big deal, but I'll just show you guys, or I'll have that listed on the website of what you need to, the measurements for that. So pretty easy. So from there, I have my measurement, and I'll go on and I'll choose the pin that has the closest match to this gap. And you're looking between the 20 and the 40, not the 20 and the 30. I'll say that again, between the 20 and the 40. And that's going to get you guys set up, because if your 20 and 40 is on, your 30 is going to be on too. So I'll just show you guys. Here's the pin I'm using now, and this is, I believe this is a 290 pin if I remember correctly. But if I take that measurement, they're pretty well in line. So that just shows that I'm using the correct pin for my setup. Now with this, you could essentially sight in your 20 and your 30 and 40 is going to be on. Now that's not saying you should do that, but you'll find that once you sight in that 20-yard mark, these two are going to be very dang close to your 30 and 40, if not right on. So that's a pretty easy, straightforward way of explaining this. Like I stated before, I'll have which sight tape correlates best to which pin on the website. If you guys have any questions at all about choosing the correct pin, feel free to reach out to me, and I'll tell you guys how to do it, or I'll get you set up with the correct stuff. But that's essentially the easy version setup of choosing which pin to use. Okay guys, I just put the back housing back in. Now you can take this out and put it back in. Sorry, all kinds of mosquitoes out tonight. And you should have no problem with any point of impact changes. I sighted in my 20, and now I'm going to shoot 30 and 40 just to see if it's on. I shouldn't have to do anything. We'll see if this 30 and 40 is on. According to my math, it should be. So let's do that real quick. Alright, those both look pretty good. I'll walk you guys up there real quick. Take the camera off the tripod. But again, this is, I have it on my 20, and I just shot 30 and 40, and we'll go see if it's on. Okay, so yeah, looks like that no adjustment really needed. I just did that math that was I have on the website for you guys, and just shot that for after I set up my 20, so should be good to go. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video on the Stealth41 optic. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to us on Instagram, Facebook, or email, and we can definitely help you out with any questions.